I have always learned every day. The people in Rancho Cordova are some of the most warm-hearted people you will ever find any place. I was planning this speech. I couldn't help but ask what happened to the year. Well, this year actually was a year. There was something going on every month, and it felt like a month. There were so many things going on that I just started to realize that something happened almost every day in Rancho Cordova. In my personal life, I experienced new adventures, fresh opportunities, and life-changing moments. I wanted to take the time to go through the highlights. Starting in the new year, I traveled to the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Washington, D.C. I learned about veterans programs, legislation that is affecting our communities, even had the chance to meet President Barack Obama. I didn't, but I was about 5 rows of other mayors from him, so that was close. We held a retreat at City Council and staff to establish priorities for the year. It's an annual occurrence, but an important one for our team here in the City Hall. One of my ideas, and I brought up then, I said I want to have town hall meetings, just like the ones we did when we were working on incorporation. So they were held at the schools, public schools. We had 16 public meetings. I wanted to find out what the people wanted to do with the Measure H money they voted for. Now that's something I was told doesn't happen very often, where the government asks the people how they want to spend their tax money. But they're doing it anyway. It was pretty good. We hosted 16 of those meetings, February to April. There are 525 plus people that came to those hundreds of ideas. With that information, the City Council decided to fund over 60 projects this fiscal year. I'll discuss that project more later. I'll travel back to Washington, D.C. for 2 important trips from March and April. The National League of Cities, again, conference enabled me and my colleagues a chance to request federal funding for local projects for our elected representatives. The cap-to-cap trip provided important information for transportation projects and funding opportunities that bring back to our community. We're trying to get the federal government to give the money to the cities, rather than saying, well, we'll give it to the state, they know what to do with it. No, they don't. We kicked off event season in April with Kids Day on the Park, as you saw, that provided a fresh take on childhood. The festival is geared for families and children with exciting activities and resources for parents. The International Festival in May continues to grow. I was part of leadership Rancho Cordova Class 2 that created the festival, the iFest Festival, in 2007. I'm glad the tradition continues to celebrate our diverse community. We held our 9th annual Memorial Day ceremony in May to remember our veterans and honor the California National Guard. We have a different theme all the time, and the reason we're doing that is it's hard to have people come when they come back to see the same thing every time. So we don't have the same thing every time. We have one time we're honoring the women in the military. We had one time we had a thing about the music and the wars, and people would remember some of the things in their own memories. At the time of the ceremony, with the last year with with Memorial Day, the Colonel Richard A. Rabe of the California National Guard. At the time of the ceremony, he was assigned as the Director, State Personnel Programs of the California Military Department of Sacramento. In his various assignments, he was assisting and providing emergency support to civilian authorities during numerous operations, including the 1996 floods, Hurricane Katrina, and the summer wildfires of 2013. He also served 2 tours in Afghanistan. Meet some very interesting people in Memorial Day and on Veterans Day. June 16th, 4003. Another person was born in Rancho Cordova. Our granddaughter, Scarlett Marie McGarvey. Here we are in the hospital the day she was born. My son Bill and daughter-in-law Sarah now have 4 sons and 1 daughter. 16 years old, 12 years old, 8 years old, 6 years old, and 5 months old. We think this is probably going to be 30 years old before she can get a date because she has to go through her dad, me, and 4 brothers. So I'm not sure if that's going to work or not. Also, I want Caltrans to change the sign on the freeway because it still says 69,112 people in Rancho Cordova, but it should be 69,113. But it still says 112. So next up was the 4th of July extravaganza. I dressed up as Abraham Lincoln in the city's float with George Bernash as George Washington. Now I have to admit that my costume was a little bit lighter than his, and he was really taking a lot of heat, literally, because of that costume that he had on. There he is. The float featured our past founding fathers. The event of Hagen Park is always spectacular. The 2 nights of fireworks, our event is far the best in the entire region. Now, you asked before, but I'm going to ask again. Don't you think it's the best one in the region? And we had another family milestone, July 18th. And my daughter Erin was married to her now husband Bart. We held the ceremony here at City Hall, and yours truly was the officiant. That was a wonderful day, and one that my wife and I will never forget. The California Capitol Air Show. We returned in October and had a record-breaking 109,000 spectators. Canada's Snowbirds were back after 2 years. The U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds were back after a 4-year hiatus, and they were just as exciting as ever. Took another trip last week to the National League of Cities Convention in Nashville, Tennessee. The information exchanged at the meeting was helpful as we learned how other cities are today coping with similar problems we have in Rancho Cordova. At the same time we were there, we were able to see people trying to take pictures of the stars because the Country Music Association awards were being done at the same time. So we would drive by and see them trying to see people, and they were taking pictures, and we just watched. It was too expensive to try to get tickets, that's for sure. Most of them were already gone, and the ones that they were selling on the street were $400. Nope. Yesterday was the Veterans Day ceremony at the Mather VA Memorial Plaza. 9 years ago, and that was our 10th Veterans Day ceremony, but it was 9 years ago, because in 2006 I was mayor, and with the VA hospital, worked with them to create the event, because that same year, 2006, was when the Veterans Memorial Plaza was dedicated. It was a perfect place to start having ways and places to honor our veterans. It wasn't being done before. We couldn't have another parade. I know that wouldn't have been successful. But when we have this Veterans Memorial Plaza, it has worked out really, really well. I think everyone that has come has been more than happy to see what's going on and learn something about our veterans. One of our themes for tonight is hometown heroes. We honored one of them at yesterday's ceremony, Kiyo Yasato. You may know Kiyo for her history in Rancho Cordova. She is a Nisei veteran who was held in a concentration camp during World War II and served in the Air Force, earning the title of captain. She gave a very moving speech and is a very true inspiration. You will also see that story in tomorrow's Grapevine. Coming up in a few weeks will be the start of the holiday season. It's a great time of year to remember why you are thankful and be with friends and family. It's also going to be me and my wife, as we said earlier, our 50th wedding anniversary, November 27th. That was the day after I got out of the Air Force. At least active. I had 2 more years of reserve after that, but when the draft was still going, the people in reserve weren't called up then because the draft was still going on. This year, it falls on Black Friday, as you said, but we decided to call it Gold Friday instead. It's much, much, much better, I think. We'll be celebrating the season for the Cordova Community Council lighting on November 29th. We'll give our free holiday postcards at the city's booth. Will be delivered to the Post Express. I also hear there is going to be some snow, and I think maybe that's 2 of us now that have said that, so maybe that'll be true. As you can see, we had a very busy year in Rancho Cordova. Now let's talk a bit more in depth about some of the programs and happenings this year. Earlier this month, the City Council made an important decision about our city. The Council voted unanimously and made Cyrus Ebhard our permanent city manager. Cyrus has been with us since the city incorporated on July 1, 2003. He knows better than many what makes the staff work very well, and even more what the people of Rancho Cordova expect of their city. Cyrus, would you stand up? Let's give him a round of applause. Now, the Community Enhancement Fund, also known as Measure H, has supported over 60 local programs and has already made many successes. One of the first projects to be funded was 2 grand pianos at Cordova High School Performing Arts Center. The classrooms in the center have been completed. Music students are all able to see the pianos for teaching and performances. The entire center has had minor concentration delays and is expected to be completed in 2016. The piano presentation will be in the morning on November the 18th. Sierra Service Project, a local nonprofit, will provide 20 home improvement projects to low-income families free of charge. They are finishing replacement or fencing for 2 homes and started to prepare for entire exterior painting on 1 home. The new loan program is available for businesses looking to grow in Rancho Cordova or come to our city. City Council approved the first business loan, American River Brewing Company, to expand its tasting room and operations. The brewery is very popular with business professionals. It is the location of our annual Brushes and Brews event. Plus, the brewery won first place at the California State Fair craft brew competition. So congratulations to them, first place. With the help of the Community Enhancement Fund, the city launched an enhanced title and abatement program in late August. We hired dedicated staff to perform work on major carriers like Folsom Boulevard, Sunrise Boulevard, Zinfandel Drive, and more. Since launching the program, they have worked 770 hours, collected more than 650 50-gallon bags of trash. Wow. In early 2016, we will start accepting applications to fund programs for the next fiscal year. If you didn't receive funding this year, I encourage you to apply again. Stop by the Community Enhancement Fund booth in the lobby for more information right now. I enjoy bringing back Mayor's Walks this year. We walk for 6 neighborhoods, and I met many residents I didn't know before. Finding out what people think of our city is always a learning experience. It also gave us a chance to learn, to really see the changes happening in neighborhoods. Our colleague Dave Sanders will be mayor next year, and he will continue the Mayor's Walk tradition, he said, and I'm glad to hear that. We will announce the dates next year. New businesses decided to come to Rancho Cordova every month, it seems. Blue Shield opened last week with our Councilman Dan Scoglin there to help them cut the ribbons and give them a proclamation. At the corner of Zinfandel and Drive, International Drive, 750 employees work out of this office. 750 new people here in business in Rancho Cordova. Tri-West Healthcare Alliance is soon opening its operations center in Rancho Cordova. The Arizona Healthcare Company brings 235 new jobs. The Rivergate Shopping Center, where Kmart used to be. Everybody remember how Kmart looked? And how it looks now. That whole center is a complete change. 6 new businesses this year. They include Chick-fil-A, Biology Pizzeria, Great Clips, Chipotle, Smile Kitchen Dental, and Pet Club. It makes over a total of 12 new businesses since 2014. Viva Supermarket is coming to the old Rayleigh's location near Folsom Boulevard and Coloma Road. It will be a full-service grocery store with ethnic food items. A new Starbucks would also be in the same center next year. So I know there are many people who are looking forward to that grocery store to open. So it will be opening where Rayleigh's was, and it's going to be another very good thing, I think, to have the people in that whole neighborhood will now have a grocer again. They've been looking for that for a long time. Billboard Mount KP International Market continues to grow. They are opening an upscale Korean barbecue restaurant called Red Alcave. This month they're going to open it. Construction is also underway for an outdoor patio area. Capitol Village has welcomed 2 new restaurants, Noodles and Company and Green Olives Restaurant. Our craft brewing scene is expanding. We are home to American River Brewing Company and Lockdown Brewing Company. You brew it when you teach how to brew Kragen. You brew it can teach you how to brew wine and beer from your home. Argonaut Brewing Company is coming soon to the area around Costco. Plus, there are many more businesses shown in the screen that is now open or coming soon. New projects are underway in Rancho Cordova. I spoke at the grand opening of the new Rancho Cordova Center at Folsom Lake College. It is located in the corner of Folsom Boulevard and Paseo Drive. It will accommodate 2,500 students. How many people were there at the demolition party for the first Value Inn? It's a parking lot now for Folsom Lake College. And the college has completely transformed this section of Folsom Boulevard. That parking lot sure looks better than the Worthless Inn, whatever it was called. I'm very glad to see construction moving ahead on Mather Veterans Village. Phase 1 is halfway complete. Here are more in other photos. This are the first 50 apartments right there. The phase 1 is right here. Now on the corner of this 2-story building is also part of phase 1. You have to have an office before you can get people moving into the apartments. The rest of that building is going to be phase 2. And that's going to be the place where you'll have the classes, you'll have other offices, and you'll have a place for 60 beds on the 2nd story for getting veterans off the street and teaching them what they're eligible for. It's only a block from the VA hospital, so it's a great place to have this being done. Phase 3 is expected to be submitted for design review in the next few months. I'm told maybe be next month, the review, which will enable us to start looking for project financing. We all know what veterans have done for us, but a lot of the veterans who come home don't know what we are able to give them. So this is going to be a great thing for them. They'll learn, and it'll be a place for them to get them off the street, get away from the American River, and maybe it'll be a place where they can actually get back into life again. The city's Reinvestment and Housing Opportunity Division is working on a Cordova Meadows neighborhood reinvestment program. Staff is getting ready to make a recommendation to the City Council on a developer partner in this project. The project will include acquiring distressed apartment complexes and remodeling or rebuilding them in Cordova Meadows. It could also include transit-oriented district development plans for the Fong property at Folsom Boulevard. Stay tuned for updates. The Fong property, by the way, is an empty, huge lot that is next to the Folsom Lake College. The reason it can't be used yet is because there is contaminated property there that has to be cleaned up before Mr. Fong can use it. So we're waiting for that to happen also. But they're going to start working on what can be done there when that contamination is cleaned up. There are new opportunities to live in Rancho Cordova. These are homes. Held a grand opening in August for the final phase of Capitol Village. The neighborhood offers 2- and 3-story single-family homes and 3- and 4-bedroom townhomes. Homes are already for sale, and others are still being built. I had a chance to tour the new homes, and they are great places to live. Now, a lot of the people who are going to be buying them work right there in this capital area and it's going to be an easy way for them to walk to work, ride a bike to work. It's going to be something that we've been waiting for a long time. Since the recession, things are picking up. We're getting homes again. That's something we really need. This year, the city has once again been very successful in winning grants that will help to enhance roadways, make them safer, and provide for new amenities like bicycle paths. This year, we won a total of $7.1 million in grants. This is a huge milestone that enhances the city to leverage additional dollars for community projects. Have you seen the Anatolia neighborhood lately? We started construction on a new bike and pedestrian trail. It includes 3 bridges. Now they use those, will run through the Anatolia Preserve site to connect Cavallo Ranch and Anatolia. Construction will resume in spring to avoid impacts on the wetlands during the rainy season. Once this project is completed, it will be a beautiful spot to exercise and relax with your entire family. I would like to see, besides this, in some areas you have a wooden sidewalk that you can walk through the wetlands. You can actually see that. That's something in the past that we had more than one discussion about. Why can't you go look at these beautiful plants? Go look at these wonderful things that you're trying to protect. If you can't go see it, then what good is it going to be other than someone's going to say, yeah, way out there, there's some nice flowers and maybe a fairy shrimp, if you can, I don't know about the fairy shrimp. But anyway, there'll be a place for kids to go look and see what's actually there. Another project is underway, a new traffic signal at the intersection of International Drive and Moyer Street. Now those of you who use Kaiser, how many use Kaiser? Enough. When you leave Kaiser on that one exit onto International Drive, you have to turn right. When this light is done, you'll be able to turn left or right. When you get off of Mather on Moyer, you'll come to that same light. You can turn left or right. Right now you have to turn right, and you have to make a U-turn to go back the other way, to go west. When this light is finished, you'll be able to go any way you need, any way you want to go. And that's something that a lot of people are really going to benefit from. This traffic signal new connection will make it easier for walkers, bikers, and citizens using the Kaiser Permanente medical offices. Work is expected to be complete in early 2016. It's also surprisingly expensive, about $500,000, something like that, to put in streetlights. I don't know why it costs so much to put in a streetlight, but that's what I'm told. Since the beginning of the city, we've been focusing on improving the condition of our roads. We made a lot of progress and still continue that trend. Beginning in early 2016, construction will start at the White Rock and Cordova Town Road Rehabilitation Project. This project will resurface roads that have been in the state of disrepair for many years. That's one of the things that people voted for when it became a city. When you're trying to repair 50 years of neglect, it takes time. You can't get it done in the 12 years we've been in the city. We've gone a long way, but it's going to take a little more time to get some of those roads repaired and resurfaced. That's something this is new also. Rancho Cordova service is expanded. We are now serving Cavallo Ranch and Sunrise Park, along with Anatolia, Stone Creek, and Capitol Village. Now the people in that neighborhood and in those businesses areas, Cavallo Ranch and Sunridge Park, along with Anatolia, pay $100 a year for the Cordovan to come. And in Stone Creek and Capitol Village is $64.66, the number I was given. And the reason it's less there is because it's closer to the light rail than other transit services. I really want to have some north-south transportation for the people on the north side of Folsom Boulevard, from International Drive and from that whole area. Because a lot of the people there are retired, and a lot of them would really like to have transportation, a trolley, a small bus. You could have it just a regular time, you just get on it like that. Right now, 50 cents when you get on Rancho Cordova. Residents and workers can travel to the business park south of Highway 50, Capitol Village Center, and businesses along Folsom Boulevard, making connections to the light rail system. you'll find route maps on the public works table in the lobby. There's a lot of things out here when we're done, besides, well, I'll get to that. Have you heard our city was designated a bicycle-friendly community by the League of American Cyclists this year? This award was a result of the many new bicycle facilities constructed around the city and programs promoting bicycle safety and education. If you have anybody, or if you're a bicyclist yourself, the Department of Motor Vehicles said bicyclists should stop at stop signs too. Well, if anybody sees someone stop at a stop sign riding a bicycle, let me know, because I haven't seen them yet. Did you know we have a community engagement program for our local neighborhoods? Community engagement is the process of working collaboratively with community groups to address issues that impact the well-being of organizations and visions. It is a way for all of us to work together to improve our quality of life. We may have been working on two neighborhoods, we have been working on two neighborhoods this year to help organize and support community projects with resident leadership, West Loma and Capitol Village. The city started working with residents living in the apartments along West Loma. The neighbors came together, decided to hold a block party for friends, families, and all ages coming for a fun together adventure. The residents applied for and received a micro grant from the city to fund supplies, food, and activities in the event. The block party was held in June, and over 200 people showed up. The group also helped clean up Cordova Meadows that week with parents and elementary school students. The city also started working with residents of Lincoln Village. The neighbors wanted to find ways to improve safety and relationships with the Rancho Cordova Police Department. They decided to hold a trunk or treat event for Halloween with A.M. Wynn Elementary School. Some of the people that made those were very creative in the back of their vehicles. Lincoln Village is now planning a mini Christmas parade in the neighborhood in December. The program continues to grow in Rancho Cordova, and I look forward to hearing about new ideas and projects. Tonight, we honor our hometown heroes in Rancho Cordova. In this spirit, I'm excited to announce that we will recognize Anthony Sadler and his parents, Anthony and Maria Sadler, on Monday, November the 16th, at the City Council meeting. Anthony is one of those three heroes that stopped to support a terrorist attack on the Paris-bound train in August. Anthony's parents live in Cordova Meadows, so we consider them Rancho Cordovans who are definitely need to be thanked and recognized. So on that Monday night, this coming Monday, we'll be giving them keys to the city and thanking Anthony for showing everyone what the people of Rancho Cordova are like. Join us on Monday and thank Anthony and his parents. Throughout the year, Rancho Cordova Police Department serves and protects our community. Dedicated officers who put their lives on the line each day are commended for being our hometown heroes. I want to remember two of our hometown heroes who lost their lives in line of duty. Deputy Larry Canfield was assigned to the City Rancho Cordova's motor unit. November the 12th, 2008, he was attempting to overtake a speeding vehicle and was struck by a second vehicle that ended his life. Deputy Canfield was a 13-year veteran of the Sheriff's Department. Sergeant Rick Defner was commanding the Sheriff's Department Special Enforcement Detail January 21, 1988. He was searching for a wanted felon off in Mills Station Road when he was shot and killed by the suspect. Their dedication to our safety has not gone unnoticed and will never be forgotten. One of the department's newest programs is a crime suppression unit. The team includes 5 officers to conduct proactive investigations based on community tips and complaints. The program is funded by the Community Enhancement Fund. The unit has uncovered counterfeit operations, seized illegal weapons, and confiscated drugs. You may have started noticing new surveillance cameras in Rancho Cordova. These cameras have live feeds for officers to deter crime and catch criminals. As you know, not too many people who are doing something they really shouldn't be doing, breaking into cars, homes, all that sort of thing, want to be in the camera. So that has cut down the crime in the areas Cordova Meadows, Lincoln Village, and will soon be added to the business areas around Folsom Boulevard, Olson Drive, and Zinfandel Drive. These programs is also being funded by the Cordova Enhancement Program. I'm going to hold for just a moment and think back about those two officers who gave their lives for us. Others have had to retire because of injuries doing their job here in Rancho Cordova. So I want to say, just for a moment, thank Deputy Larry Canfield and Sergeant Rick Defner. Our officers go above and beyond by taking the time to give back to our community. The department recently launched a new program to build positive relationships between students and police. Once a month, 3 students in all Rancho Cordova elementary schools are honored for good behavior and given a gift card from the officer. All the gift cards are donated by local businesses. And good smiles on those kids' faces. The police department is once again organizing the annual Christmas in Cordova event. The event will provide toys for 1,400 students and serve 2,000 people in need. We need event volunteers and new unwrapped toys to make dreams come true. Toys can be dropped off in these many locations in Rancho Cordova. I hope you are following the police department on its Facebook page. They post crime alerts, upcoming events, and information on new programs. Follow them on Facebook by reaching Rancho Cordova PD. Now, Rancho Cordova is also served and protected by the Sacramento Metro Fire Department. I'd like to take a moment to discuss one way they're helping to support Anatolia, Sunridge, Cavallo Ranch, and beyond. The fire department reopened Station 68 in Anatolia. The station was closed for 4 years due to the economic recession and collapse of the housing market. The decision to reopen the station is based upon increasing calls for service and longer response time for this area. The opening was celebrated in October with an event at the station. This year, 4 years of drought has brought more forest fires in our state and many smaller fires in Rancho Cordova area. So our firefighters have been very busy and putting their lives on the line also. Because as you can see, sometimes the firemen also, when a roof collapses and they're trying to put out the fire. We've had some firefighters who have lost their lives in other areas. I want to thank the officers and firefighters who are here tonight for continuing to protect Rancho Cordova. Can you please stand? Officers and firefighters. These officers and firefighters will be available for questions and to show you state-of-the-art equipment. Join us in the lobby afterwards. So, what do you think of everything happening in our city? That's really exciting when you see so many things so well done and new things coming all the time. Throughout the year, there are many ways you can find out what's going on. Now we have a monthly email newsletter called Fresh News. It's filled with upcoming events, news stories, videos, photos, and much more. You can sign up by visiting the Cordova Communications booth in the lobby. Everyone who signs up will be entered into a drawing for the free Chick-fil-A meals. We have a Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram page, which I don't use all of. I'm sure there would be great things, but I have enough time for Facebook and emails. And you can ask city questions. If you use any of these websites, please follow us. The city and police department use Nextdoor to post updates and emergency alerts to residents who are signed up. We also will be releasing a printed newsletter that will be mailed to every resident. Now that was stopped, but we're building it up again. I think it is very important for us to send things by mail to people who don't have a computer or email. It'll be similar to City Views, but mailed twice a year starting this spring. Stop by the city's communication booth in the lobby to learn more and enter the drawing. Or Chick-fil-A. If you have concerns, suggestions, or even complaints, please contact me. I'm here at City Hall and want to hear what is important to you. That was the reason we started those 16 public meetings. That's the reason that we always have someone here. There's very few times when you call City Hall, you'll get a computer, you'll get a machine. It'll say, push this button, push that button. Most of the time, you'll have a person. That's what's most important, is you'll have a person to talk to. It's frustrating. If I'm not in my office, I'm either at a meeting, one of those ones that we were talking about earlier, or I'll be at home with my wife, working with the grandkids, which is always fun. Now when the granddaughter gets kind of tired, then she gets kind of cranky. And I'm sure a few of you have had a kid that's kind of cranky, and it's not always fun, but we always love them. So we have city employees and representatives from the police department, fire department here in the lobby. Please stop by to ask questions, get more information, or just say hello. I want to leave you with one parting thought. Rancho Cordova is a great community because of all of you. We couldn't be here without you. So tonight, let's celebrate who we are. Let's take a fresh take on 2016, and with that, go get a piece of pie.